The first thing Captain Elias Ward noticed about the alien girl was how small she was. She stood trembling in the center of the docking concourse, 3 thin limbs folded close to her body, iridescent skin dulled with fear. Her eyes, too large, too dark, tracked every movement around her as if the entire human starport were a predator closing in. Cargo drones hovered overhead. Marines stood guard with rifles lowered but ready, and dozens of human onlookers watched in uneasy silence. She couldn't have been more than the equivalent of 8 years old. "She's the price," the translator unit crackled from behind Ward. He turned to face the speaker, a tall, willowy alien female of the same species, her posture rigid with a dignity born of desperation. The mother. Ward could see the resemblance immediately. The same luminous skin, the same eyes, but hers were hardened by age and grief. "Say that again," Ward said quietly. The alien woman bowed her head. "My people violated the non-expansion accords. We crossed into Terran-protected space. The penalty has been explained to us." Her voice wavered only slightly. "A life for a life. We offer the child." Murmurs rippled through the concourse. Ward felt his jaw tighten. The Kelri were new to the galactic stage, barely a century into spaceflight. They were not warriors. They were farmers, engineers, philosophers. But galactic law was merciless, and the death of 3 human colonists during a border skirmish, accidental or not, had triggered an ancient statute enforced by the Council: blood debt. Ward had argued against it in chambers for weeks. He had lost. But he hadn't expected this. "She doesn't even understand what's happening," Ward said. "She understands enough," the mother replied. "She knows she must pay so that our world may live." The child made a small sound then, a soft, keening chirr, and clutched her mother's lower limb. Ward stepped forward before the Marines could react. "No," he said. The word echoed louder than he intended. Silence fell. Galactic law enforcers, armored insectoid beings of the Virex Collective, shifted uneasily. One of them clicked its mandibles. "Human Captain Ward, the offering is lawful. The debt must be balanced." Ward didn't take his eyes off the child. "You're wrong. The debt is real, but the offering is not." The mother looked up sharply. "Human, please. Do not prolong this. She will be honored. Her essence will be remembered." Ward knelt so he was eye level with the child. She stared at him, eyes reflecting his own face like dark mirrors. "What's her name?" he asked softly. The translator hesitated, then spoke. "Her name is Sira." Ward swallowed. "Sira," he repeated. "Do you know what's happening?" She shook her head, trembling. "Mother says I must be brave. That I will go to the stars." Ward stood. "That's it," he said. "I won't allow it." The Virex enforcer stepped forward. "You do not have that authority." Ward turned slowly, fire in his eyes. "You think I don't?" He tapped the insignia on his uniform, the old Earth emblem worn smooth by time. "Humanity signed the Council Accords," Ward continued. "But we also retained sovereign discretion in matters involving minors. It's in Appendix 12, subsection C." The Virex paused. Their compound eyes flickered as they accessed archives. The mother stared at Ward, hope and terror warring on her face. "You would challenge the council," she whispered. Ward nodded once. "I already have." The Virex enforcer hissed. "If the child is not taken, another life must be surrendered." Ward didn't hesitate. "Then take mine." The words hit the concourse like a shockwave. The Marines shouted protests. The crowd erupted. Even the Virex recoiled. "You are essential," the enforcer said. A ranked military commander. Your death exceeds the debt. Ward smiled grimly. Funny thing about humans. We don't measure worth the same way you do. He turned to the mother. She was just a child, he said. And no civilization worth surviving trades its future to pay for its mistakes. The mother's limbs shook violently. I am her mother. It is my duty. Ward stepped closer. Then let me do mine. For a long moment no one spoke. Then the Virex emitted a low, resonant tone. Alternative resolution required. Council protocols. Adjusting. Minutes stretched into eternity. Finally the enforcer spoke. The human will not be accepted as payment. However, there exists a provision for voluntary custodianship. Ward raised an eyebrow. Explain. The child may be placed under Terran protection. Her life debt will be suspended until such time as she reaches maturity and may choose for herself. The mother gasped. And if she refuses? Ward asked. Then the debt dissolves. Responsibility transfers to the originating state. In other words, her people. Ward nodded. I'll take that deal. The mother collapsed forward, wrapping her limbs around Sira, sobbing openly now. You would do this for someone not your own. Ward knelt again, placing a gentle hand on Sira's shoulder. That's the thing, he said softly. Once we protect you, you are our own. Years passed. Sira grew up on Earth and its colonies, learning human languages, laughing at human stories, running beneath open skies her people had never known. She learned what Captain Ward had done for her. She learned what humans believed. When she reached maturity, the council watched closely. They waited for her decision. Sira stood before them, taller now, stronger, her eyes no longer filled with fear. I choose forgiveness, she said. The council recorded it as precedent. Humanity recorded it as proof. Because when the galaxy demanded a child's life to balance a ledger, a human stood up and said no. And the stars remembered. The official record would later state that the incident was resolved through cross-species ethical arbitration. It would be archived, indexed, and eventually cited in law schools across the galaxy. But that was not how it was remembered. It was remembered because the council never again accepted a child as payment. In the cycles that followed Sira's choice, other species began to question old laws they had never dared to challenge. Blood debts were renegotiated. Punitive offerings were replaced with restitution, labor, and rebuilding. The idea that innocence could be spent like currency began to feel wrong. Humanity did not force these changes with fleets or weapons. They did it with refusal. Captain Elias Ward never returned to deep command. He retired quietly, declining medals and interviews alike. When asked why, he answered only once. I didn't do anything heroic, he said. I just remembered what mattered. Years later, when Sira stood beneath a foreign sun on her homeworld, now rebuilt with human and galactic aid, she carried that lesson with her. She was no longer afraid. She spoke before her people and the assembled delegates of the council, her voice steady. Once she said, the galaxy believed survival required sacrifice of the weak. Humans showed us something different. They showed us that survival means protecting those who cannot protect themselves, no matter the cost. She paused, eyes lifting toward the stars. They taught us that strength is not measured by what you are willing to destroy, but by what you refuse to let be destroyed. Chamber was silent. Far away, on a quiet human colony, Elias Ward watched the speech on an old terminal. He smiled, then turned it off, content. The galaxy moved forward after that. Slowly, unevenly, imperfectly, but it moved forward. Because when the universe demanded a child's life, humanity answered with defiance.